was the way it was. I mean, I was a lovely singer back then. I sang all round the towns and everything. But there was no singing jobs, so I got the ferry to Liverpool. And I remember back then, if you wanted to be a professional singer, you had to do a competition. But back then, you didn't have to sing that well, you just had to have a sad story. And I remember saying to the judges, I says, well, I'm doing this for my mammy. I says, she went out one day and it was very windy. She was putting out the washing and she got blown away. Now, I didn't tell her we found her up the top of Thanet Lighthouse with some old boy from Kerrykeele about a day later, but I mean, I wanted to get through it. I said what I had to say. I did the other rounds then, and because I was a lovely singer, I always got through. And I sang this song called Kickstarts, by example. And they said, that's lovely, Granda. You're through to judges' houses. And that was around that the judges brought you round to their house. And you see, back then, if you were over 25 or there was something wrong with you, Louis Walsh would bring you to Dublin. And he'd sit you down in front of Ronan Keating, and Ronan Keating would tell you if you could sing or not. Him with not a note in his head. But you see, that time I was sent to Los Angeles, and it was Simon Cowell's house. And he says, here's the guest judge now. And round the corner comes wee Sinitta, and she's wearing about 6 banana leaves. And she says, hello, Granda. I says, hello, Sinitta. How you getting on? She says, do you like my new outfit? And I says, it looks lovely. But have you a coat or anything? And she says, no. She says, it's Los Angeles, it's nice and warm. And I says, Sinitta, it's nice and warm now because it's 11 o'clock in the morning. I says, at night time, Sinitta, it is like ice. I says, have you anything? And she says, well, no, Simon said. I said, don't be listening to Simon. I says, Simon has those nice and warm trousers. He has them up to his armpits all year round. And she started getting very upset. And I says, I don't want you crying, Sinitta. I says, you don't need to be crying your holidays. I says, right. I gave her some money and I says, right, you go down to John Macy's in the town and get me £half-pound cigarettes and say to John that you need a coat and come back here. So that's what she did anyway. And then I got through to the live shows, but I wasn't very good, you know. So there was week 5 and it was Elton John week. And it was me against this fella, I think his name was Wagner. And I don't really know what was wrong with him. But he won the sing-off anyway, and I remember this fella called Dermot, he says, that's you away now, Granda. And I says, that's me away. So I went home again then after that. And a couple of weeks later, I got a card in the door. And I opened it up, and it was a picture of wee Sinitta in her brand new coat. And it says, to Granda, you didn't win the XFactor, but you'll always be a winner to me. And I get a card like that every year from Sinitta. Would you like a gingerbread man?